Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Today we are going to learn on how to create a SQL Server database using Visual Web Developer 2010 Express. So the first thing we should do is that we should actually open an existing project, or you can create a new project for the database application. Once you have done that, what you need to do is that go to project, add new item. Okay, from here we select data. You will find SQL Server database, so we click SQL Server database, and what we need to do is that we need to rename the database. Okay, let's say that the database name that we are going to use is students DB. So if the extension is .mdf, you can either key in .mdf or you can just let it be. So the .mdf will be added to the extension of the database. So once we have done that, we click add. Okay, you will be prompted to select yes, no or cancel. So it says here, you are attempting to add a special file type .mdf to an ASP.NET website. In general, to use this type of item in your site, you should place it in the app data folder. Do you want to place the file in the app data folder? So app data folder is actually the default data directory. So it is highly recommended for you to select yes. So we click yes. So it will process and to create the selected database. So it will take a while. Okay, you can see here on the Solution Explorer on the right, we have the folder app data. So here we have studentdb.mdf. Okay, so what you need to do now is that you need to open the Database Explorer here. So if the Database Explorer has not been opened yet, let's say that this is by default closed, how do you get the Database Explorer view? So what you need to do is go to View. We have other windows. Okay, and we have here Database Explorer. We click. Now we have Database Explorer. For Visual Studio, it will show you Server Explorer. So what you need to do is that we need to actually enlarge, expand the file studentsdb.mdf. Okay, now we can see there are several classes of the studentdb.mdf. So what we need to do is that we are going to create a table for the studentsdb.mdf. So here we try to expand the table. Okay, there's nothing here. It shows that no table is available for studentsdb.mdf. So how do we create the table? So we highlight the table, right click, and you get add new table, new query, refresh and properties. So select add new table. Okay, so you will be given an interface. So this interface is called the Visual Table Designer. So what we can do is that we can create the table for our SQL Server database. So, and we can key in the columns. So let's assume that the first column is that we want to create an index number. So index no, that is the column name. Now the data type, so we are going to have the data type as an integer, and we are going to actually make this column an auto increment column. So what we need to do is that, okay, we can enlarge this part. Okay, look for identity specification. We expand the identity specification. Now, IS identity, we click this as yes. Okay, by default, the identity increment is 1, the identity seed is 1, meaning that it will start with 1 and will increase by 1. So meaning that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, now this is the index number. Okay, the second column, let's say that we have this as name. Now we are going to choose varchar. Okay, let's say that the name, we allow the 50 spaces for varchar. Okay, we use varchar because varchar allows the length of the column to be varies. So meaning that it preserve the space within the particular table. Okay, and allow nulls, no, it is compulsory for us to key in the data. Next, we have email. This will also be a varchar. Next, we have student ID. Okay, for student ID, we choose the size as 11 because this is the length of the student ID for UniKL students, 11 characters, and the length is fixed length. So when we have something that is fixed length, then it is better for us to select as char rather than varchar. And also, this is, we don't allow we don't allow nulls. The next column is IC number. So IC number char 14. So this is also a fixed length column, okay, with 14 characters. Next, we have date of birth. Okay, so for the date of birth, we can choose date, or we can choose also date time. Okay, date time. So I'm going to choose date time because perhaps someone will want to key in the time of birth. Okay, we can key in within date time. Okay, the next column will be sex code. So for the sex code, okay, I'm going to choose char. The length is 1 because the code will be male or female. So I'm going to put in M for male and F for female. And the last column will be state code. This will also be a char 1 character. I'm going to choose the registration alphabet for each state as the type of data input for the state code. For example, for Perak it will be A, for Selangor it will be B, for Pahang it will be C, and so on. Once we have done this, I'm going to select a primary key. So index number will be the primary key. So what I need to do is that we highlight index number. Okay, here there is a toolbar here, set primary key. So we click and you can see the symbol of a key here. And once we have done that, we save the table. Okay, so you will be prompted to enter the name of the table. So I'm going to actually name the table TBL students, and I'm going to click OK.